You know, A24 can make bad movies too, right?
Hello, I'm Ryan Donato.
Hello, welcome back to another Hard Review, and I am here, of course, to talk about Thunderbolts. This is the new Marvel movie, the latest entry, 36 MCU movies, as well as like a dozen shows. And it's crunch time, baby, because Avengers Doomsday starts filming in like a month or something like that. We're ready to go. There's gonna be another Avengers movie and another one out of the year after that, and we got Fantastic Four in 2 months, and we had Captain America only 3 months ago. Now is a good time to be a Marvel fan. And boy is it, because look at the reviews for Thunderbolts. It's got a great Rotten Tomatoes score. It's got really good word of mouth going into it. People talking about the big buzz of like, wow, this really sets up the universe really well. And if you want to watch one of those reviews where someone's gushing about this movie, please do. This will not be that. I kind of hated this movie, and I kind of knew that going into it. So if you want to write this review off as being like, well, he knew he was not going to like it going into it, I knew from the moment that it was announced that I wasn't going to like this movie. I knew the concept wasn't something that I was interested in, or the characters were ones that I was interested in fleshing out their storylines, but I wanted to like it. I love the Marvel movies. Superhero movies is what got me into movies. Those are the first movies that I was into, and it's specifically Marvel movies, and I'm really invested in everything with the movies. I haven't watched all the shows because I don't want to do that homework. But what were my main concerns with Thunderbolts? So, number one, I like superhero movies because, unlike most action movies, these heroes have powers. There's plenty of action movies where it's guy with gun or super spy with gun. This is just, everyone is just guy with gun. That is literally it. I mean, Ghost can phase through things, and that's kind of cool. But really, no, everyone else is, I'm guy with gun. I'm super soldier with gun. I'm guy with gun and metal arm. I'm old guy with gun. I just feel like the superhero genre is one where you get to have fun visually with your action sequences and do things that regular action movies can't do. This is where the Avengers movies and the X-Men movies really thrive, everyone all around with their powers doing their thing. I also like superhero movies because they have cool costumes. They're wearing cool outfits with like their branding or whatever on it, and it's a fun visual thing to see a superhero don their costume. Here, Yelena wears all black. Just the all black jumpsuit. Bucky wears all black. Like, I think on the poster he's just wearing a black t-shirt. And then fake Captain America is just wearing like a muted Captain America costume. And there's no design on the shield. It's like navy blue instead of blue. It's like very muted. Red Guardian is the closest thing we get to like a costume. And even then it's just like Captain America, but take the blue out of it. It's just red and white. And then Ghost, again, I'm just wearing a black outfit. I have this like white mask, like gray mask over my face, but no like eyes or anything. It's just a blank like mask, like no personality whatsoever. And then Bob doesn't even wear a costume. I guess Taskmaster has a costume, but like even then, I got a hood and I wear a little mask, but not really much there. So all of this makes me really excited about the Fantastic Four movie that comes out later this summer, because they're wearing extremely colorful costumes. Like the old Fantastic Four, blue, you know what I mean? With a little bit of black. And then the Josh Trank Fan Four Stick, that was like, all right, we're really darkening it up. And here it's like, it's white and baby blue and like really flashy. And there's a guy who has rock powers and he's a giant orange dude, and the other guy's a stretchy dude, and the other girl is invisible, and the other guy's on fire. So literally every member of the Fantastic Four has a unique and cool power that complements the team. Each individual Fantastic Four has a cooler power set than every single person in Thunderbolts. Now, I understand that the theme of the marketing, the message that they're trying to send is like, well, this team, oh, they don't work well together. Oh, this team of losers, these scrappy little underdogs, they can't come together and accomplish anything. They suck. Isn't it funny? You think they're gonna save the world? And I've just seen that movie so many times. I get a lot of comparisons between this movie and Suicide Squad. Notice how I didn't say the Suicide Squad. I just said Suicide Squad, because it feels way closer in quality to that than the Suicide Squad does. And I'm sorry, but if you keep telling me this team sucks, this team, doesn't get along very well, this team doesn't have cool powers, this team is weak and lame, if you say that to me enough times, eventually I'm going to believe you. And then the team, the cast of characters that we picked to continue off with. Now, the MCU is as such that we have been developing some of these characters for a very long time. Like, we've been developing Bucky since like 2011, right? Which is part of one of my problems. I don't know. I feel like we've said everything we have to say about Bucky. Like, we got it. He was a little kid in Brooklyn with Steve Rogers, and they joined the military, and they were a little team together. He gets caught in the ice. Winter Soldier, he's been, like, hacked by Hydra, and he got the super soldier serum, but he's a bad guy and doesn't remember anything, goes after Steve. Now he kind of recognizes Steve. And then Civil War is all about, well, Cap wants to save Bucky, but everyone wants Bucky's head because he's committing all these crimes, and if you say the right number of words in a correct sequence, then he's gonna go ape shit. And then he goes to Wakanda. They're fixing his brain. They put him under for a bit, but they fix his brain, and they also fix his arm, so now he's got a cool Wakanda arm. He fights in Infinity War. He disappears. He comes back in Endgame, and then he's just kind of hanging out with the Falcon, being like, oh, you're the new Captain America now. Bye, Steve. And then we get a whole show about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, about how they now are kind of have to be buddies. And then we hear in Captain America Brave New World that Bucky's now a congressman, when he was just like doing like what, parole? Like he was doing like therapy, like government mandated therapy because he's too much of a head case. And you want me to sit here and believe now that he's a congressman? Now I get it. These are like silly superhero movies. But this is a movie that's trying to be like dark and serious, you know what I mean? Captain America Brave New World and this are both exploring a concept that I think the MCU really hasn't touched on post Endgame, which is America's government's relationship with superheroes. So the government makes Captain America, they win Second World War, and then Captain America goes under ice, so no superheroes for a long time. And then Iron Man shows up, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s a thing, and we're starting to monitor these superheroes just in case we need to, like, save the world from aliens one day. Hey, we have to, so let's bring the Avengers, but the Avengers are with S.H.I.E.L.D. Then we find out S.H.I.E.L.D. is a part of Hydra, or is infested with Hydra. So now we don't trust S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore, but we still trust the Avengers. And then in Age of Ultron, they create Ultron, and it destroys Sokovia. And so that's on the Avengers, is it not? And so now we don't trust the Avengers anymore. Then we have Civil War, where the Sokovia Accords basically say that superheroes have to be registered. And then half of them say no, half of them say yes. The ones that say yes seem to regret it by the end of the movie. Then Infinity War and Endgame, the problem is so huge that it doesn't really matter what the American government thinks. And then post-Endgame, we haven't really talked about it at all. So Brave New World comes out and we're like, okay, so this is gonna like set up the Avengers, right? It's really gonna set up what the status quo is in America, what's going on here, what's up with the US-based Earth-bound superheroes, and Sam Wilson's probably going to interact with them in some kind of way. Nope, doesn't happen at all. They bring it up at the beginning of the movie, and then nothing ever happens with the Avengers, which is such a shame because a Captain America movie, kind of like with Civil War, changed the narrative of a Captain America movie because that's like a low-key Avengers movie, you know, but it's still Captain America's movie. So we were kind of spoiled with that, and we were expecting that with Brave New World, and we didn't get that with Brave New World. So now Thunderbolts has to pick up a lot of the slack. You see in the marketing that Valentina's like talking at like court hearings or whatever, and she kind of runs the new, more shady version of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. I think she's the director of the CIA, she says in this. So I knew that she was going to get this little team together, and they're going to kind of be like the Dark Avengers, right? And just the way that they handle establishing the new status quo for superheroes in America in this movie is so like lazy and pathetic and boring and lame. It's just very lame, but I can't really talk about that without spoiling things. But Bucky, like I said, we've been dealing with this guy since 2011. We've said everything we need to say about Bucky, okay? We're done with Bucky. Bucky has nowhere else to go. He's not really that interesting of a character anymore once you take Steve out of the picture. He's definitely not interesting when you're not pairing him up with Sam Wilson, who's a much more interesting character at this point. It has a lot more room to grow. So I'm bored that he's here. And I think he's only here because Sebastian Stan is like a big name actor at this point. He's getting like awards recognition these days, and you want him in there because he's one of the faces people recognize. Ghost was the villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp back in 2018. No one remembers or cares about that at all, and she's the one with the coolest powers. Yelena, Red Guardian, and Taskmaster, those are all from the Black Widow movie, which already has such major bad press because it was the first Marvel movie to come out post-COVID. I mean, it was still kind of during COVID. I fucking hate that movie. That's my least favorite MCU movie because it's the most cynical, oozing movie in the MCU. We know for a fact that that movie was only made because Scarlett Johansson had it in her contract to have a solo film. She's dead! She died 2 years ago or 1 year ago back in Endgame. She's gone! So why are we going back in time to tell a story about a character that's not really that interesting and flesh out a part of her life that really isn't compelling at all? Like, if you wanted to do like a Black Widow paired up with Hawkeye movie, that I would take. Maybe. You know what I mean? Because I know those characters, they have a relationship, they allude to a backstory, and that might be interesting. I like their banter together. But no, it's the Black Widow's family movie, so we're taking Scarlett Johansson's solo film and turning it into a launch pad for Black Widow 2.0, which is Florence Pugh's character as Yelena, and then David Harbour, he's big from the Stranger Things thing. He does that a lot. And obviously Florence Pugh is big. She's Midsommar, and she's a great actress. And even David Harbour's a good actor. And I don't know who plays Taskmaster. I don't know anything about Taskmaster. I've seen Black Widow once. I have zero recollection anything about this character. I just know that they're supposed to be way cooler in the comics. This character is just, I don't even know. I think it's a woman. I was surprised by that. I don't even remember that. I don't remember anything about Taskmaster. Very boring character. Black Widow is an extremely boring movie. It's the worst MCU movie. Take a shot every time someone mentions the Avengers, because that's all that movie has. Remember how you were friends with the Avengers? I get it. And again, I don't want to watch superhero movies about superheroes without powers. Now, I understand Batman doesn't have powers, but Batman dresses up like a bat. He has a shtick. He has an iconic litany of villains. He has all these like tech gadgets, and he's a super interesting layered character. Whereas Black Widow's like, I was a spy, and I was a kid, and when I was a spy, and they took me from my pee-wee soccer team, and now I have to be a spy, and I can't really have a normal life because I was a part of this spy team. And I don't really find that very interesting at all. So we had all this time to develop with Black Widow, right? She shows up in Iron Man 2. She's in all 4 Avengers movies. She's in the last 2, or middle 2, I guess now, Captain America movies. And she has a lot to do, and we really flesh out her character. So now, to feel like we hit the reset button on Black Widow, a character that I already don't think was very interesting. Like, I know for a fact that the only reason that Yelena is the lead of this movie, the Thunderbolts, the only reason they made this at all is because they're like, we have Florence Pugh under contract, so we gotta give her something, but you can't really do a Black Widow sequel, like call it Black Widow 2, because she's not really Black Widow. We gotta give her like a team. Maybe she teams up with a bunch of like, you know, rogue parts, you know what I mean? We don't have the Guardians of the Galaxy anymore. That was our response to the Suicide Squad. So now we'll have a new type of Suicide Squad, because she's kind of like a dark like agent, you know, so we'll have her lead this team. So we have a vehicle for Florence Pugh to lead in. That's why this movie's being made. So it just feels utterly cynical going into it. And Red Guardian's so annoying. He just keeps talking. Like, he'll come up and say a funny joke, and sure, it's funny sometimes, and then he just keeps vamping, and he doesn't shut the fuck up. And it's like, you're overstaying your welcome, dude. Like, I'm so sick and tired of your shtick. The whole, like, relatable, cringy dad, and he's loud, and, like, he acts like a child the entire time, like a goofy, dumb child. So who am I missing? Who in this group am I missing? Oh, yeah, fake Captain America. So I watched the Winter Soldier and Falcon show before I watched Brave New World, because you kind of have to at that point. I didn't watch any shows leading up into this, though. Like, I think I've only seen Loki, season 1, WandaVision, the first season of What If, Miss Marvel, a few episodes, She-Hulk, I watched all that, Moon Knight, I watched all that. But I watched the Captain Falcon show, and I liked John Walker in that. I liked that it was like, well, what if Captain America was shitty? He doesn't have the super soldier serum, I guess, right? I don't remember if he ever got it in that show. Doesn't matter. But he's just a fake Captain America, and his whole thing is he was a good boy. I grew up, I played football, and then I was in the military, and then they picked me to be the new Captain America, and then he makes a mistake and he kills someone, and it's like, well, now you can't be Captain America, but you're still this like superpowered girl. Why does he still have the fake Captain America costume? Why is he still wearing that? Which I'm complaining about someone wearing a costume. God forbid someone in this team wears a costume. And then all the marketing with like, oh, from the cinematographer of this A24 movie, from the director of this A24 movie, from the, like, shut up. It's so like, cinephiles like us, please. It like breathes desperation. You know what I mean? Like, oh, A24 is the cool studio that makes the cool things these days. Well, let's take a bunch of people from all the A24 movies. Who cares if it makes any sense or if it fits this universe or anything? We'll take all those different mismatched peaches, put it in there, and we'll have an entire trailer that's like, do you like A24 movies? Well, we made a Marvel movie that's like an A24 movie. Look, we got all these people from other A24 movies that you like, so you'll like this one too, right? Just feels so utterly cynical, pathetic, and lame. So I don't like the team of characters that we chose. I don't like the team of filmmakers behind the camera that we chose. Jake Schreier, I fucking hate Paper Towns. Paper Towns sucks. And maybe that's because I watched it in my 20s instead of as a teen, like you're supposed to. And I was a teen when this movie came out, so I don't know why I didn't. And I haven't seen Robot and Frank, and I'm not watching Beef. I'm sorry, I don't do TV shows. So director I don't really care about. I don't really think they got anyone else that I'm really excited about. And then the actors that I'm excited about that are in this movie, I'm upset that they're in the movie, because why would you waste your time with this? Oh yeah, I forgot Julie Louis-Dreyfus, who's like the new Nick Fury because she's going to get the team together, but she's doing shady government shit and she's kind of pulling the strings in the background, but she's not super powered at all. She just kind of runs the operation. And she, like, is so annoying in this. I haven't liked her in anything. She was in Wakanda Forever, annoying. Other things, I think, I don't know. Don't like her. She's annoying. So I don't like really any of these characters, or I feel like these characters are already fleshed out. I don't have anything new to say about any of them. So that's a lot about going into this movie. Now, how do I actually feel watching the movie? Bored. This is a boring movie. I just stopped myself from falling asleep. I feel like 20, 30 minutes into the movie, like a thing happens and I was like, oh, I know the entire rest of this movie. I know exactly what's gonna happen. I know she's gonna do this, and I know they're gonna do that, and this guy's gonna do this. I know what the themes of the movie are gonna be because it's very blatantly obvious. Like, this movie's like about depression, whatever. I don't know. That's another thing that bothers me too, is that this movie and the last Marvel movie are like very like mental health focused. Like, there's a fight between Hulk and Captain America, but it really ends with a nice little therapy session. You know what I mean? Like, that's Sam Wilson's big thing. She doesn't have the super soldier serum, even though he's got all these cool powers. His whole thing is he was a mental health professional for veterans, so he's gonna save the day by talking the guy down. And like, sure, that's fine. I don't know. I like that better there than I like the mental health, you know, woke ending here, you know what I mean? I get depressed too. I can relate to Yelena because I'm depressed and she gets depression, and so I'm gonna learn how to overcome my depression from a Marvel movie. So I just think it's very lame. I think it's a very lame thing. I don't like any of the action in this movie. There's not a single action sequence that I was like excited about. Like, I was kind of interested in that first one in the trailer when they're all in that one room, when they're first meeting for the first time, and they all have different like things that they're trying to do. Like, they're all sent there for different reasons. And I was really interested in that because I was like, oh man, like a bunch of different people. I know who these people are. I know they all have different things that they're trying to do and who's gonna come out on top. And then it's immediately revealed that it doesn't matter. And it's like, well, then who cares? I think that Sentry in this movie sucks. I don't like him at all. What they do with the character, don't like it at all. Doesn't make any sense to me. Super lame and boring going forward. I feel like they kind of write themselves into a box with the character. I think Yelena's arc is extremely weak in this movie. I really don't think anyone else has much of an arc. I think that the villain, everything they do with Valentina is so lame and annoying, and it's such an insult. The way that this movie ends is such an insult. Like, as if like that makes any sense whatsoever. I didn't really like anything in this movie. It's kind of funny sometimes, but then it just overstays its welcome and the jokes are way too cheesy. Oh, Adam, you knew you were gonna dislike this, like right when it was announced, and yes, I disliked it. Clearly everyone thinks it's great. They're giving it 4s and 5s. It's got 90 something on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm giving this a 1 out of 5. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about any of the action. I didn't like most of the humor in the movie. I think visually it's dull and gray and ugly. I think the stakes are weird. Like, they try to make it this big Avengers level threat at the end of the movie, and it just doesn't make much of any sense to me. And then in the way that it's executed is extremely lame. And I don't know, just not for me, man. This is like the second worst Marvel movie to me, like just ahead of Black Widow. Because at least this is like original, you know what I mean? This is like an original team, the Thunderbolts, you know what I mean? Black Widow, we had seen Black Widow before, and now we're doing this like makeshift prequel to justify its existence because she's dead. So at least here it's like, all right, we are moving forward. That's another thing I hate about this movie, is I hate the way this movie moves forward. And then they're like, oh man, going into this movie, there's a huge world building thing that happens here that really sets us up going forward, because that's a big problem with post-Endgame MCU, is that we're not really properly building to anything. Well, this one, hey, it directly builds into what's coming next. And all that they reveal is something that I already knew. And it's not like I already knew it, like I'm surfing the web, like making sure I know what all the spoiler stuff is going into it. No, I've been known this. We all know the information that's coming. No one's gonna be surprised at the end of the movie when whatever thing that they think is a big deal happens. Even the way the movie ends, we knew that was gonna happen. Utterly predictable, boring, sleepy time, nothing here for me. Sorry. And then people love to sit there and be like, oh, the MCU is dead. Oh, the MCU is so back. Like that whole teetering thing. We're spoiled brats, by the way. Because every single year post-Endgame, besides 2020, and we didn't have anything in 2020, every single year since then, we've had a good Marvel movie. A positively reviewed, successful Marvel movie. Last year, Deadpool Wolverine, people really liked that. It's very fun, a lot of fan service, made a whole bunch of money. People like that movie, okay? By the way, only movie to come out that year. They had the only one chance, and they nailed it. I mean, I don't think it's a perfect movie, but good movie. Guardians 3 came out the year before. One of the best MCU movies of all time. One of the best superhero movies of all time. One of my favorite movies that year. I love Guardians 3. The year before that, what was 2022? Wakanda Forever. Super well-reviewed, super successful at the box office. I even like the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie, too. I think that one's super underrated. The year before that, Spider-Man No Way Home. Everyone loves Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh my god, they brought all the Spider-Men back, and that made it so great for me. And made all this money. Big, huge movie, right? It's nothing good since Endgame. People love Shang-Chi. Nothing good since Endgame. Far From Home's a good movie. Nothing good post Endgame. Like, I'm sorry that Thor Love and Thunder and Ant-Man Quantumania and Black Widow, and some people don't like Eternals. I think Eternals is fine. Oh, a couple bad movies and the MCU's fucked, man. They're just not, nailing it, acing it every single time. Relax. It'll be okay. We will be fine. And look, wow. Here, this one's great. Apparently. Okay, so now the MCU is back because Captain America wasn't very good. Now this is good, so we're back. It'll be dead again when people don't like Fantastic Four for some reason, but then it'll be back again when people like the Avengers. There's no pleasing you people. And there's no pleasing me when it comes to the Thunderbolts, baby. I'm giving this a 1 out of 5. Bad movie. Didn't like it. If you liked it, great. I'm so happy for you that you get to take this shitty team of characters who suck and you like them. That's great. I'm really happy that you did that. Like, comment, subscribe. Why don't you guys tell me what your favorite Thunderbolt is? I don't know what my favorite Thunderbolt is. I don't like any of them. I think maybe I would have to go with, after watching the movie, oh god, Taskmaster. And if you've seen the movie, then you'll understand why I say that.